When I met you, do you remember I got a little puddly? Yeah, I did, and then I wanted to curl up in her lap.
But you didn't.
Where are you going? What's happening?
The definition of puddly is...
Oh.
Did you smuggle the dogs into the country?
No, the dogs we were under the impression that we had all the paperwork done for the dogs. We were there with the dogs in front of everybody. There might have been other things smuggled.
But not dogs.
Well, they seem to miss that bit. But
so the
I'm
minute
understanding you might have been, you know.
You just
could have been.
You brought your dog.
What about you? Can you
I have beard envy.
Oh, you're talking to Johnny. I want.
I have beard envy. I do.
Yeah,
I grow about 7 or 8 hairs on this side. About maybe about 5 over here, and then just whatever sort of falls in between is left.
Your second feature. Yeah. After Katie says goodbye, now it's Richard says goodbye. I have a microphone, but I'm happy to use yours. How did you come up with that story? For Richard. I came up with Richard probably about 4 years ago. Probably about 4 years ago.
Smelling it really strong. Johnny's channeling a bloodhound.
That, to me, I think is a surprise to a lot of people, is how exactly funny he
He's
is.
the funniest person I've ever worked with. I wet myself and, like, pitted out laughing.
Was that in the bathtub?
No, it wasn't.
I did wonder.
Why the water was staying so pleasantly
It
warm.
was so warm.
Were you good at it?
I was not good at it.
Not good at it.
But I did make one sale, and the guy was going to buy like a gross of pens, you know,
yeah,
for some inordinate, crazy amount of money. And we're making the deal, and I finally just went, hey, listen, sir, don't buy this pen. Because you're not going to Greece, I guarantee you. That doesn't exist. And the grandfather clock, which does exist, is made out of, like, press board. So, like if your dog's tail wags against it...
It's going down, yeah.
It's gonna come down like, you know.
And did he thank you for your honesty?
He did, in a very confused way. I think he wanted the pens.
Did you get fired from that job?
I then took it upon myself to leave.
You fired yourself from that job.
You see, I can imagine Judi Dench and Michelle Pfeiffer top of the class in quizzes. Why do I think Johnny Depp, you're not very good in quizzes?
I was until I was about 3. Something changed, I don't know.
Going off to concert.
Johnny!
Really. I had Johnny do what I wanted to do.
You would be a good example of driving, or because he doesn't want you to, or it's too early?
He has my instincts, my boy, and he's crashed about 5 golf carts.
Oh, really? Does he golf?
Nope.
No.
The second time it was a blinking... You weren't credited the second time, were you?
It was improper.
Was I not credited?
I didn't think you were.
Excuse me, I've never heard that before.
No, it's fine.
I thought it was a very original and
Hey, Johnny, come on!
all my relatives, the story there that didn't rely on just... Was that funny? I think she's just excited, actually. So am I.
How great would it be to be able to have the opportunity to stand there as some sort of animatronic until the people come by, and then you start screaming and, you know, scare them into a mischief. You know what I mean? So, you know, all these years later, I got the chance to do it, so I was very excited. You know, these boats are going to come around the corner, they just sort of looked at me as they were coming around, and I'm frozen, and I went, "Oi!" Or something, I don't know, just, "What are you looking at?" And then, nothing. You know what I got? All of the iPhones in the world going, "Wow. Wow, that's a pretty good animatronic." It was one of the proudest moments of my life.
Greg, this is the second time that you've worked with Johnny of the Rum Diary. Describe what it's like working with Mr. Depp.
I'm not late.
The worst thing about him.
He's sort of perfect.
Yeah.
I mean, he's pretty amazing.
Something must have driven you crazy working with him.
You know how, like, your alarm clock might go off and it might say, like, oh, it's 8, I need to get up and go to work.
Right.
I think when Johnny's goes off, he's like, oh, I need to sleep for 6 more hours.
Because I have to work today.
Right.
So
He just is a different, he's too cool to follow a regular 24-hour schedule like we do.
I see.
I mean, my on time is just slightly late, that's all.
Well, then why don't people tell you like an hour or two earlier so
I
that
beg
then you
them
would
to.
be?
I beg them to.
And they don't do it?
They won't. They won't fool me.
What did they don't fool you?
They can't fool me. Of like weird, sweaty, painted gut man
Yeah.
who decided that, you know, like two 5-6 inch Yorkshire teacup Yorkshire Terriers would harm the country in some way. He's got a point. Especially when you consider that Australia has the most poisonous creatures on Earth.
Yeah, that is true. Everything is dangerous there.
Everything will kill you within minutes.
And
And what does Gwyneth do that is drives you crazy?
She's just Gwyneth.
Yeah.
She's just, look at her.
Yeah.
You know.
Looking for something?
And it just seemed like the right picture to sum up the album. Yeah.
And
Josh,
isn't it gorgeous?
It's Josh.
It's what?
Johnny just keeps looking at me going, it's you, isn't it?
And what's the easiest, the girl or the boy? Yeah, I'll start with Johnny.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are they both hard?
They're both wonderful. But you know, as a grown man and a father, and you know, a man, there's nothing you can understand about a teenage girl. Nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
Yep.
But,
No, she's amazing.
But you're so
The problem is she's
cool.
infinitely more sophisticated than I am. And she
I
can
see.
run circles around me, and she knows she's got me wrapped.
Oh, I see.
Around the pinky.
But she has to know how cool you are, right?
I don't think she would ever think that.
Really?
Most likely not.
That's just